Blocking of the canals and natural flow of water was the case in Benue State. On August 27, 2017, residents of Idiye village in Makurdi, the Benue State capital, woke up to their homes and belongings submerged in early hours flooding. The flood claimed 3 lives and displaced over 240,000 persons.
In 2017, we were badly affected with the flood. We vacated the house, which I spent over 8 years to construct. We left the house and we were there at the IDP for a very lengthy period. But today, by the grace of God, the excavation has started and is going on well. As of yesterday, if you see the log of water that accumulated here, it was something much. But this morning, you see the impact of the excavation. Water has gone and is flowing freely. So I think I'm very happy.
Mr. Baba's happiness is because the federal government has reacted and began the Idiye River Basin Canalization Project as part of the short-term solution to the perennial flooding in Makurdi and other parts of Benue State.
I've been talking, of course, to His Excellency, the governor of the state. One of the things that the president wants us to do is to find a permanent solution to this perennial flooding in Benue State. And this is why we're engaging, this is why I've been having these meetings with this meeting with His Excellency, the governor. We're trying to devise a strategy and trying to look at all of the issues, the costing and all of that. This has to be a collaboration between the federal government, the state government and the local governments also.
The State Commissioner for Water Resources and Environment is working closely with the federal government's delegation on the project.
Deseating, or we are excavating what we call the Idiye Basin here in Makurdi, Benue State. And the reason for this excavation is as a result of the perennial flooding that occurs in Benue State. The major canal that conveys the water around Metropolis to the River Benue, it is what is called the Idiye Basin. It expands from the river up to a place we call the Narrate. It is very long. A particular phase of the basin was constructed in between 2003 and 2007, some years ago. But major chunk of the work is still pending. We wrote to the federal government for assistance for intervention because the work is capital intensive. As we are talking now, federal government has sent a delegation to take a part and construct of the Idiye Basin. Right now, they are doing the survey from the Zone 4 to the Naka Road of the basin. What is left out of that is from Zone 4 that links with the Constitutional Road to the remaining part of the basin. So what we are doing now is to excavate this basin so that it will be able to accommodate the water and convey the water, excess water that comes from the stormwater to River Benue. By the time we are through with this work, major parts of that which caused flooding in Makurdi Metropolis will be solved.
Creating and applying proper management of drainages tops the list of the way forward. But also connected to this is the issue of structures built on the path that should be natural flow of water. A closer observation of these issues indicate that some of the structures come as necessity, the need for housing in areas where population has more than doubled over the years.
What is important now is that in the urban areas of this country, our policymakers, politicians, government officials should start to pursue what we call vertical development, whereby we use less area to contain more people. Go to South Korea. In many of the urban centers, we hardly find any building that is less than 10-story building, residential. which means in an estate of 1 hectare of land, you can have a population of about 10,000. Because there'll be flats on the 10th land, there may be so many blocks within that. So that's the type of thing we introduce, which will allow us not to spread so thinly across all these areas where water used to be. And you know, I look at it when you're coming from Ojota, that bridge before Maryland. You can see people already pushing buildings all the way into the green area of it. If you go to that place where the accident happened on Otedola Jubilee area, that wetland is being pushed. And one day the rains will be so much that everybody, everywhere in that channel will be gone. And we now claim that there is flood. Don't let us look for trouble. Let's, the government in all the urban areas, go back, look at the original maps of these places and see how we can restore as much as possible, not completely, much of the initial drainage system, and pursue a very well-formulated vertical development plan for this area so that we do not continue to spread so thinly. Everybody is occupying the whole of Lekki, and the total population of that place is so sparse when you look at it. But if we are able to make it to look for vertical development, residential areas with power available that can allow water to go to the 10th, 15th floor, then we'll be able to reduce the rate at which we are encroaching upon this natural landscape. We can use them, but they need proper planning. So the question is not, are we ready? The question is, we should be ready and we need it. Otherwise, I'm still surprised. If you look at what we are doing to ourselves now, the whole of Lagos to Ibadan is more or less being occupied by all kinds of two-bedroom bungalow spaces. So what happens to the next generation? Where will they get houses to build if we do not start to look at the possibility of vertical development? And this thing is not difficult. If you have a whole estate where 10,000 people have a power plant there that they will pay for, using gas or whatever, and people will pay for it. But we have to be ready. We have to just be ready. Otherwise, it doesn't make any sense to me for a country where in some parts of the country it does not rain for about 5 to 6 months. And anytime it rains for 2 or 3 days, we keep on rushing that our houses have been washed away. In the northern part of Nigeria, for instance, it's what we call the Hausa Plain. Most of the lands are fairly flat. So when you have cities that has no drainage, because they believe the soil will just absorb it, the soil will absorb it, it will lead to trouble. So can we do things? Can we create artificial drainage system on this flat land so that when it rains, the water is collected and channeled to a place that it can reuse during the dry season, rather than complaining that there's no water that dry season and there's too much water during the wet season? Which one do we want? God has been so good to us. Okay, I will make 5 months dry, about 6 months wet, so that you all live well throughout the whole year. Let's live with water. That is the concept. You live with water. Don't try to live against water.
High flows are still being expected from the upper catchment of the Niger Basin. The River Benue is equally rising, and unfortunately, the flooding incidents being witnessed in some communities in the country are expected to continue due to high rainfall intensity of shorter duration. Rainstorms, blockage of drainage system, and poor urban planning, as well as coastal flooding resulting from sea rise and storm surges, are some of the situations that have increased the consequences of the rainfall. And we hope that things will be done about this in a short while. That's our story on this episode of the program. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ini John Mekwa.